Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video I'm going to take a look at a brand new card game that's currently available on Steam Early Access. It's World of Myths. This video is sponsored by the creators of World of Myths, which allowed me to take a good look at the game and what does it have to offer that differs from other card games on the market. Just looking at the game board, you can clearly see that this game is in the vein of Magic the Gathering and Hearthstone. There are some units on the board, there's some cards in hand, there's some mana over there which is called Faith in this game. So that's all pretty familiar stuff. However, what makes this game special is that there are at least three differences between this and most other card games. The first difference that's pretty easy to spot is that where is the face? I mean, face is the place, but where is it? There are actually two ways to win a game of World of Myths. The usual way is that you destroy all of these three temples that your opponent has. So there's three faces that you can hit. And there's even more strategic depth into hitting these faces, because every time you have a successful attack that deals damage to one of the temples, you get spoils from that temple. So the leftmost temple gives you a card, and your leftmost unit gains power, whereas the center temple destroys one of the opponent's units, they get to choose which one is destroyed, and the rightmost temple draws you a card and gives your rightmost unit additional endurance. So that means that there are actually choices to be made on how hard you hit and where you hit, because you get different results based on which temple you're hitting, and sometimes you want to hit them down really quickly and sometimes you want to chip in damage. And in addition to temples, there's also an alternative win condition, because you can also destroy your opponent's leader. You can see the leaders are sitting here on their pedestals on the side. But actually, for 3 faith, you can summon your leader on the board to participate in the attack. Then it stays on the board for 1 turn and returns to the pedestal. And while it's on the board, it also has health, like these temples. And if you just attack the opponent's leader and you kill it when it's on the board, you also win the game. So that's a lot more targets than most card games have. The second main difference between this game and most other card games is the combat system. In this game, you choose attackers, and you choose the target for them, like one of the temples or the leader if it's on the board. After that, you pass the turn, and your opponent gets to choose their defenders. However, units do not deal damage to each other directly. Each unit has endurance, it's these little green circles over here, and every time a unit participates in battle, it loses 1 point of endurance, and when it has no endurance left, it dies. So even if you're attacking on an empty board, attacking still consumes endurance. Defending consumes endurance, so you need to choose, okay, when do I want to attack, when do I want to defend, in order to conserve my units. Other than that, the result of combat is determined by the overall power of the attackers and the defenders. If the attackers have more power than defenders, the attack goes through, and then the target takes as much damage as the difference, and you get whatever spoils there are for the target that you have managed to hit. This is a pretty interesting take on combat in a card game like this, because it's somewhere between the Hearthstone levels of you just decide whatever you want to do, and the Magic level of back and forth and back and forth. And overall it's a pretty smooth compromise that ensures that the games go on very quickly, while allowing limited interaction. And the third key feature of this game is that there is very little randomness in this game, and unit positioning matters a lot. Like here when I'm hitting for these spoils, your leftmost unit gains +2 power, so the power of this unit will increase from 3 to 5 if the attack is successful. And there are tons of these effects. There are effects that affect units that are in the center between other units, there are effects that affect units that are on the side, on the wing, there are effects that affect any unit that is opposite my unit, just tons and tons of positioning based effects. Right now basically the only random effects in the game are effects like this card here. Your weakest unit gains 1 power, so if you have multiple units that are equally weak, then it's randomly determined which one of them gains the buff. There have been a number of games that combine a grid-based combat together with cards, and this one doesn't quite do that, so it still looks and feels like a card game. There's no grid that you really move in, but this game includes a lot of effects, so that in which position you put your units in is very important, and that is the main way the game creates strategic depth. But what does it really look like to play this game? Well, I streamed this game the other day, and here's a sample game from my stream. Mulligan works exactly like Hearthstone. You start with 3 mana, you go up to 10 mana, you get 1 mana each turn. And Mulligan works exactly as it does in Hearthstone. So you can mulligan cards one by one. Now I'm playing against Greeks, and he has Zeus, and Zeus' special power is the first curse you play each turn returns to your hand and gains Ethereal. Ethereal means that the curse is then going to... What do I play? I play this one, I think. Ethereal means that the card is removed from the game when used. So basically, every curse Zeus has Twin Spell. If you put that in Hearthstone terms. Something like that. Now I have 4 mana this turn. I think I can use it to play the eagle out there. And I attack with this, and I attack that temple over there. So if my attack is successful, my eagle gains more endurance, and I get to draw a card. Every temple has spoils. Leftmost unit gains power, and you draw a card. Opponent chooses and kills one of his units, or draw a card and your rightmost unit gains 1 endurance. So he puts his Zeus on the board and goes for the attack. An interesting strategy. Do I block with this one? Do I block with this one? I can block with this one, I believe. Let's defend. There was the rope was burning over there, if you noticed. Very subtle. Very difficult for me to spot. Okay, I'm playing the elite mercenary over here. Now I could attack Zeus because Zeus is on the board. But overall I think attacking Zeus is a little bit weak for the time being. So I believe I'm going to attack this temple over here. If I'm successful, then that means that this unit will gain +2 power, and it already has a fair amount of endurance. So then I will make it bigger. What did he play? I don't think I've seen this card before. Charon. It's an epic card. Summon, return the top spell from your graveyard to your hand. But he hadn't played any spells, so I don't know about that one. I have 6 mana. I can play this one over here, I believe. Let's play that one over here. It buffs up my minions. And I think I'm going to go for this temple over there. Let's try that. He's letting all the attacks come true. I don't know what his grand plan is. He has to have some kind of a plan there. But what is that plan? Because clearly there is some kind of a plan. Well, these units are going to die when they attack. If I block them, I could block them with these. That will leave this one up as a potential attacker. And I think I can use these to block. I think this is fine. They had no endurance left, so they died. Now, I could attack with this, and he doesn't have anything that he can really use to block it. And I think I want to kill off this centaur. So, in order to do that, I will kill that unit with my spell. And then I will be able to use this one to attack there. So that the centaur will die when the attack goes through. And I can also use... I can also play this one over here. I can give this one more power, so if he doesn't block, then even more bad things will happen to him. I can play that one over there. My rope was already burning again. So he doesn't block, so he loses the temple and he loses the minion. If he had blocked, he would have still lost the minion, but he would have kept the temple, because he would have reduced the amount of damage the temple takes. So now he has 4 power on the board. He has 3 out there on that temple. And if I play Miyobu with here and attack with everything, 8. Don't I just win? I think I just win, but maybe there's some way that I don't. We'll find out. I'll just attack with everything. I'm a firm believer that this 11 power is going to be pretty good. He has 4 on board. You can cast spells when you defend, but you cast spells with the amount of mana that you have left over from your previous turn. So he was all tapped out, so he couldn't do anything. So that's what World of Myths looks like. You can find links to the homepage of the game and to its Steam page in the description. And if you want to get a head start into understanding how the game works, check out my new player guide to the game, right here on YouTube.